Labour Congress ground Nigeria with threats to stop election. Good morning and welcome to the Dailies on Equa Television. I'm Owolabi Tosin and I'll be doing this with Sele Elisha. Good morning, Sele.
Morning, Tosin.
Hope you are good.
I'm great, thank you.
And hope you are ready for this review this morning.
Lots of stories, you know.
So let's start up with the first paper.
Yes, and the first paper, which is the New National Star newspaper. And the first story, which is coming from President Muhammadu Buhari, he said, "I'm committed to the free, fair elections in 2023." And you can read detail of the story on page 4 of the New National Star newspaper. Still on the paper, we have FAAC shares 802.407 billion naira in June to tiers of government, with detail on page 7. Bandit abduct 36 new Millennium City residents in Kaduna, detail on page 24. Buhari have asked Senate to confirm Justice Ariwoola as the Chief Justice of Nigeria, still detailed on page 12. Big story, which is the Labour protest actually started from yesterday. We can see Buhari must go. Terrorism has taken over Nigeria. This is coming from Falana. And the writer following that story says the Nigerian Labour Congress to embark on mega protest today, says Weber. And you can see the picture story there showing all the people that came out in relation to the Labour Congress rally that started from yesterday, and various parts of the country have actually taken that. And even here in the Plateau State, we had that protest yesterday, even though we know the governor was against that protest because he said he do not want anything that would disrupt the peace that has come into the Plateau State. But there we cannot deny the fact that this protest is very important at a time like this, because students being at home for more than 5 months, this is the longest that students have stayed long, even though we know during the COVID there was students were at home, but that was because almost every part of the nation, not just Nigeria, was affected. So we just hope that this protest will actually send the right signal to the government to do what is expected. We're expecting to see the Senate, the ministers having emergency meetings to see what they can do as quick as possible, because this not just the ASU, there are many other sectors in the nation right now that are falling, not just education. We are even having our health sector, transport sector. Till date, we're yet to see those who were abducted by the, talking about the Abuja Kaduna rain, and even the brigade that I mean, about 6 soldiers and 2 officers that were killed as a result of being the guard to the president. So you know that there are lots of things on ground to see. So this protest is really the right step in the right direction.
And I would like to say this protest should not just be, people should not just see that it's just for ASU to come back and students to go back to school, but I see that relevant authorities that are having issues even in their own sector, they should from this, because now we see that this NLC have said they are planning to shut down the economy and even stop the 2023 general election. So we don't want it to become another hashtag NSAS protest. It's all solidarity protest. It is a peaceful protest, but relevant authority need to pick this. Then the sectors that are not working right, they need to learn from this so that everything can be adjusted and everything can work on fine in our country. Because we see that Labour Congress are talking about how the economy can be suitable to everybody. Aside students being at home, the educational sector needs to be looked into, the health sector needs to be checked upon, even the aviation sector, the transportation sector, all sectors. So they need to learn from this. The government, just as you said, we want to see them being proactive now, and meetings being held in a way to move our country forward.
Well, still on the New National Star newspaper, court shift the PDP suit against Tinubu. Peter Obi's running mate August 12th. So you can keep your fingers crossed concerning that. You read more of that on page 4. And DSS issue 44 security reports before the Kuje prison attack. This is coming from Wasi, the Deputy Speaker of
Broom's heart-warming victories, beginning of new dawn for Nigeria athletics, says Omo Agege. New CAN president emerges Thursday as Ayokunle bows out. And also, we like to say congratulations to the new CAN president and also to our very own ECWA president, Reverend Dr. Stephen Panyababa, for emerging as the vice president of Christian Association of Nigeria. And now we know that the swearing in will be tomorrow, then the celebration also will take place starting from tomorrow. And we say congratulations. We just hope that the new office, the new CAN president, and even the vice, and those who are elected into key positions look out for ways we can have a balance and equity government, because we see the issue of the Muslim vote, despite the fact the church have been clamoring against the Muslim vote, that everything needs to be justified, and even always Christians are facing persecutions in different places. So we just hope that their voices will be heard, and also will be proactive on ways Christians can have a just fearing even in the country, and things can move on well even for the Christian Association of Nigeria in general. For reckless comments, actions, Hedis disqualifies Portable, and top 5 African countries most hit by the grain crisis in Ukraine. Ethiopia, Nigeria, South Sudan top list. 19.5 million Nigerians to be in food crisis between June and August 2022. And we know between the month of June and August is still the raining season, and this is time where food needs to be available for people. But now we see that the food crisis and also the food insecurity will cause the food crisis even between this month of June and August 2022. But we just look out for ways the Ministry of Agriculture can do something about it, providing seedlings for farming activities to take effect, and also aside farming activities taking effect, security of the farmers, because it's one thing to be provided with the seedlings, and that thing to be able to go to the farm to even plant and later on harvest and even take to the point of sale. And we know we have the issues where farmers are being killed right in their farmland. So we need food security. We need security in the part of those farmers so they can be able to plant and harvest and even take it to the point of market. And even those who have taken theirs to the point of sale, that's at the market, the price need to be controlled, because you see where prices are being inflated and people don't even have access to food any longer. So the prices need to be controlled. Then we look out for ways we can have access to good food. Rainy season is time where you see so many food in the market, but now reverse is the case. We just look out for where the Ministry of Agriculture can do something about it, working hand in hand with our military sectors on security and providing of seedlings for farmers, then securing their security, let it be guaranteed so that when they go to the farm they can harvest and do whatever they want to do without interference from all these terrorist groups.
Of course.
Still on the Matrix newspaper, NNPC offers exit package to 500 staff willing to leave before retirement dates. INEC records 11 million new voters. Lagos, Kano, Delta in the lead. And this is really a good one. People are now sensitized and they know the importance of getting their PVC. And we just hope that it will not just stop in this. They will come out on the day of elections, either the general election, the governorship elections, or the presidential election. They'll come out in their numbers to cast their vote. NLC issues federal government ultimatum over ASU strike, and no soldier was abducted during attack on Presidential Guard Brigade. This is from a spokesperson. We learned that 3 persons died as a result of the attack, but concerning the abduction, no soldier was abducted. Rather, 3 soldiers died on the attack by the insurgent group on the Guard Brigade, and that's all on the Matrix newspaper.
And on Daily Trust newspaper, still on ASU, federal government knocked at the Nigeria Labour Congress stages solidarity protests in states. No immediate solution to aviation crisis. This is coming from the minister and the airlines, even though we say there's no immediate solution, but we hope that they are working on a lasting solution at the end of the day. Still on Daily Trust newspaper, bandits kill 6 in Taraba, Katsina, abduct 36 in Kaduna, with detail on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And the big story, which is on 2023, North North lags behind as voter registration ends in 4 days, with the rider Delta Rivers register more people than Sokoto, Niger and Katsina. Now see, maybe possibly because of the insurgents in these various states. So I hope more will be done to secure the lives of these people, so that the next 4 days they can actually use it properly to be able to register their voters card. Still another rider following the big story: Lagos, Kano, Delta top chart, Imo, Yobe, Ekiti lowest. Insecurity, disenchantment, responsible dawn activists. Well, you can read more of that on the Daily Trust newspaper. DSS presented 44 security reports before Kuje prison attack. This is coming from the deputy speaker. Buhari seek confirmation of Areola as the CJN, 19 others as INEC wrecked. Yega Africa partners media trust on election debate, and they have really been doing well. And you can keep your fingers crossed and read more of that on page 22. And we have a graph here talking about the weekly update of the completed registration as of 7 a.m. on Monday, the 25th of July 2022. So you can take a closer look at those states that have the highest vote. We have total 11,119. That is the total those who have registered. So you can actually visit any INEC state or local government office nationwide from Monday to Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the next 4 days. Downside of the paper: terrorists plotting to attack Lagos, FCT and others. This is coming from the NSCDC, saying schools, worship centers, national asset targeted. So we hope that we'll not just fix our eyes on those places, but even recreational areas should actually be checked, because we can see the reason why the law school cannot actually graduate in Buhari. They have to shift it to another location, and they said no family member is to be invited during the graduation of those in the law school. It's going to be low-key. So we hope that we'll look into more areas. We should not just be adamant, because we can see that there was 44 reports that came out before the Kuje attack, and begin to ask questions: what happened if there was a report that was given that an attack was going to be launched and nothing was done about that? So we hope that that will not be the same case, even though there have been a leaked memo. I actually saw that memo too, sending to the various areas that they should make sure that they do what is expected of them to protect every area that is under their control. So I hope that we will do that. We don't want to have a situation where we keep recording deaths over and over and over, where we have all it takes to be able to avoid such from happening. So that's all on the Daily Trust newspaper.
On the Vanguard newspaper, Rex not recognized as members of INEC. This is coming from Okwe, the National Commissioner. Bandits, terrorists planning attack on Lagos, FCT, Katsina and 3 others. And this is from NSCDC. Just like what you said, we need to take heed, and also the security agencies need to be deployed in all these places. So like there was a day, last week we read where ISWAP have trained over 3,000 people and send them in different locations, different communities in Abuja. And we saw, we said it on this program that the security agencies need to be proactive on this and look out for ways they can secure lives and properties even in those places, and even in the FCT in general. And now we see that aside the attack, even in the FCT, they're saying they are planning more attack even in Lagos State, in Katsina, and even 3 other states. And we know the Plateau State is also another prone area to different attack by all these terrorist groups. So we need to see our security agencies all around, and even in the nooks and crannies. And that's why we keep on talking about the state policing. So like one way or the other, this will help. It will help the security in working hand in hand, because most of these people who work with the state policing, they are people living in different areas, in different communities. They know different way out, like in Jos, we say lungu. They know all these lungos in different communities. So we need to have our state policing, because they work hand in hand with the security, where the eyes of the police or the soldiers cannot reach. Their eyes will reach them, and they inform these people immediately. Then there can be an attack on these people. So we just need the state policing, the bill to be adopted on ways they can have the state policing, because security need to be guaranteed. Then we should look out for ways we can deploy and even employ more security agencies. True. And train our own security personnel more training, or not more intelligence on how they can go about all these things. IMF downgrades Nigeria's 2023 growth projection, retained 2022 at 3.4%. Protest government toying with an uprising like the hashtag #EndSARS, and this is from the NLC. Falana faults federal government claim on oil subsidy. Ganduje promises government intervention. NBA/Olanipekun face off. Body of bencher Smith silent on Apata's petition. DSS shared intelligence reports before Kuje prison attack. This is coming from the Deputy Speaker, with details in page 26 of the Vanguard newspaper. And while on organ harvesting, court grants Ikwere Madu's wife bail. Police detonate suspected bomb at Kogi government office. And a picture story here on Labour Solidarity protest. We can see that of the Kaduna State Council with the write-up written boldly saying national protest to get our children to school. And we saw that the protest took place in different states, despite the threats by the state government on how they should on up with this protest. But we saw that they came out in their numbers to protest, and today there is a massive protest in Abuja still on this, and we just hope that the government will hear this plight and look out for ways they can resolve this, despite the fact that NLC have given the government 2 weeks to bring back to resolve this issue between the federal government and ASU. But we are tired of this 2 weeks because Buhari gave ASU 2 weeks also to resolve this. That was last week. Yes, he gave them 2 weeks also to resolve, and now NLC are giving 2 weeks. We just hope that they will look out for ways this can be resolved, so that students can go back to school. Then other sectors that are suffering, they can look out for ways they can stand on their feet, and everything should move on well in our country. That's all on the Vanguard newspaper.
And on Nigerian News Direct, Ogun begins reconstruction work on Sango Ota Ojoku Akute Road. Welcome development, but no contractor on site yet. This is coming from the community leaders. On piracy, Namisa boss inaugurate expert team on maritime security. No plan to sack workers or reduce their salary. This is coming from the NNPC. And on prepared meter intervention fund diversion, CBN seek court order to freeze accounts of Mojang integrated power 10 meter providers. And the writer following that story asks court to freeze 157 accounts of accused companies. CBN must follow due process. This is coming from Anidero. And there must be grave consequences for offenders. This is also coming from Yusuf. You can read details of that story on page 2 of the Nigerian News Direct. Free, transparent, credible election indispensable to peace and stability in West Africa, Buhari declares. National Assembly leadership, Finance Minister holds consultative meeting on 2023-2025 MTEF FSP. Fayemi names 46-member 4th anniversary BAO inauguration committee. And ICPC arraigned varsity staff over 9.9 million naira contract fraud, with detail on page 12. We also have a picture story here on the front page of the paper. Do well to get the Nigerian News Direct and read detail of any story that is of interest to you.
And on Nigerian Tribune newspaper, reps move to bar CBN governor, deputies from partisan politics. Army denies capture of personnel, confirms death of 8 during attack on Guard Brigade. Bandits attack Kaduna Millennium City, kidnap scores, and DSS submitted 44 reports before Kuje prison attack. This is from the Reps Deputy Speaker, and more details can be found in page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. FAAC shares 802.407 billion naira in June 2022, revenue to federal government, states and local government. IMF project growth to slow to 3.2% in 2022, and Buhari seeks Senate confirmation of Ariola as CJN with 18 recs too. We know Justice Ariola have been occupying that position on the capacity of acting, and now we see where the president have written a confirmation letter to seek this confirmation of Justice Ariola. We just hope that in his capacity he will do the right thing in the justice system, because there have been some hitches even in the justice system. We just hope that he will look out for ways he can adjust all those things, and everything should work well. I keep on saying, if you are given any capacity, give out your best in those capacities and look out for ways things can move on well. We should not have hitches coming up from such places, because before you assume that position, you had so many promises you wanted to make, you had so many dreams for that capacity. Then give out your best if you are given the opportunity to work in such places. Ensure conduct of credible, acceptable, reliable census, Obasanjo urges NPC. Labour stages pro-ASU protest in states. Honor your agreement with ASU, autumn tells federal government. ASU strike dangerous, poses threat to nation building. And this is from Kano State Governor Ganduje. Falana joins protest, says Buhari insensitive to Nigeria's plight. And ASU reject plan to hike tuition fee in public universities. And we have autumn to the federal government. What did you do with 1 billion naira security fund 36 states put together? This is a question to the federal government coming from Benue State Governor, and we definitely need answers to this, because $1 billion is not a small money. This money, if put in the right places, we'll know where we will be. If it is invested rightly, we'll know where we will be in level of growth and even development. So we need answers to how all this money are being used even in our country. And a picture story is still on we can see the Labour Congress on national protest to get our children back to school, and members of the Nigerian Labour Congress Bauchi State chapter during a protest in solidarity with the Academic Staff Union of Universities in Bauchi State. And that's all on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper.
And on Leadership newspaper, my ability is not centered around Spike. Amusan replies Michael Johnson, with detail on page 38 of the Leadership newspaper. And terrorist ambush, military confirms 3 casualties, with detail also found on page 6. Restructure debt to avoid default. IMF warns Nigeria and others. And President Muhammadu seeks confirmation of the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, 4 CBN directors and 19 INEC nominees, with detail on page 7. 66 persons kidnapped in Kaduna and Zamfara. And DSS issued 44 reports on the Kuje prison attack. This is still coming from the WASI, and this story is almost on all of our papers this morning. No plan to impeach Bajabiamida over controversial water resources bill. This is coming from Reps, with the detail also found on page 8. The big story here: at the nationwide protest, Labour gives the government 2 weeks to meet ASU demands. And the rider says failure will attract serious action from workers and stakeholders. Holds mega rally in Abuja today. And Northern Youth declares support for the Nigerian Union. And also, governors urge prompt resolution of crisis, decry plight of students. And we can see some of the points for the ongoing ASU strike. We have poor funding of public justice, infrastructure decay, and we also have non-payment of arrears. We also have another non-implementation of provision for the 2014 Pension Act. We also have exclusion of university staff schools from funding by the government. We have the disregard for the 2009, 2013, and 2017 agreements. And there are about 8 points here that the ASU have actually, pointed out for the federal government to look into it. So you can actually do well to grab the leadership newspaper, and you could go straight to page 4 and read detail of some of these points and also the way forward for the ASU strike. And that's all on the leadership newspaper.
Thank you very much, Sele. But at this point, we'll be right back after this timeout. We're live on Facebook. Do well to drop your comments. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying tuned. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Do well to drop your comments on stories that interest you. And also our phone lines are opened and displayed on your screen. We'll be expecting your calls on issues we've been discussing on the program. I've been doing this with Sele Elisha. Thank you, Sele, for doing this with me.
My pleasure.
And I would like to take the Daily Independent newspaper. Aero clarifies issues on trapped $3.5 million for aircraft acquisitions. On the aviation crisis, no solution in sight. Problems beyond industry. This is coming from Sirika. Workers threaten to shut down country if federal government ignores protest. Says protest is just a warning action. Reps restrain move to stop proposed ban on commercial bikes. DSS shared 44 intelligence reports before Kuje prison attack. This is coming from Wase. And no plan to impeach Bajabiamila. Reps Northern Caucus and leadership are saying this. Buhari writes Senate to confirm Justice Ariola as the CJN. Asks upper chamber to confirm 19 nominees as INEC commissioners. We have picture stories of the protest in Ikeja, Lagos, and also in Benin, Edo State, and Umuahia in Abia State. On PDP crisis, pro-Wike governors give condition to support Atiku. Inspector General of Police orders tight security in Abuja over bandits attack. Details can be found in page 6, and that's all on the Daily Independent newspaper.
And on New Telegraph, we have the IMF retained Nigeria's 2022 growth forecast at 3.4%. With detail found on page 3. FAAC high tax earning push June revenue to 802.40 billion naira. With detail found on page 8. Still on the New Telegraph newspaper, Obasanjo charges the MPC on credible, acceptable census in 2023. Reps bar CBN governor and others from politics. And on Kuje Correctional Center, DSS submitted 44 security reports before the attack. This is still coming from Wasi, the deputy speaker. On 2023, fresh continuous voters registration hit 10.4 million. This is coming from INEC, with detail found on page 8. The big story: Labour to federal government resolve ASU strike now or risks total shutdown. To hold Abuja mega solidarity protest today. Threatens action are key to the hashtag #EndSARS protest as more than 25 chapters embark on warning strike. Urges members to get their PVC to vote out the government. Ganduji, Otto Makinde and others urges the federal government to end varsity union crisis as Falana urges Buhari to quit. And on the growing insecurity, Senate passes bill to establish Commission Against Arms Proliferation, with the rider IGP orders additional deployment of assets. Detail found on page 2 and 8. Igbo leaders demand Awumama killings probe. You can actually check more of that on page 31. Osun Governor-elect Akindele constitute 37-man transition committee, with detail on page 29. NIMED forecast FCTA placed divert rescuers on alert over expected flooding, with details found on page 2. And the ambush attack on gas brigade, the military sources suspect sabotage, confirms death of 3 soldiers, allegedly recovers body of 2 officers and 6 soldiers. Calls to bar ceremony will be low-key. And again, terrorists invade Kaduna community, break into homes and kidnap 36 residents. It's really a sad one. You can read more of that on page 6. That side of the paper, we also have a study that says frequent naps increase high blood pressure risk. So you can read more of that also on page 27. And that's all on the New Telegraph.
On the Guardian newspaper, Daniel Oko emerges CAN president. NBA president fails to attend body of benchers meeting. Terrorists kill 3, abduct principal and others in Katsina. Anxiety as cholera kills 10 persons in Taraba. On terrorism, Senate mom, Abuja resident on high alert over planned attack. As Wasi is saying DSS submitted 44 security reports before Kuje prison attack. Attack on presidential guard troop, army lieutenant, 5 soldiers missing in action. Terrorists assembling weapons to attack Buhari state. FCT, Lagos, says NSCDC. Appointing Northerners as head of security institution worsens situation, says Huriwa. And federal government procures 6 attack helicopter from Turkey. Expect another hashtag NSAS uprising if ASU strike lingers, NLC Falana tells the federal government. PDP suit challenging Tinubu Obi's running mate adjourned till August 12. And union in the Nigerian tertiary institution, an innocent Nigeria student needs to come back to school. And that's all on the Guardian newspaper.
And on the Voice of Liberty on 2023 presidency, Kwankwaso NNPP demands Atiku Tinubu's disqualification. And still coming from Kaduna State, government declares 3-day public holiday for voter registration. Still on the Kaduna, bandit break into many houses, abduct scores of residents. And on insecurity, terrorists planning to attack Lagos, FCT, Buhari State and 2 others. And the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has raised the alarm over a possible planned attack on the home state of President Muhammadu Buhari, Katsina, as well as Lagos and the Federal Capital Territory, among others. Commuters to pay more as private transporters begin 25% fare increase in August 25th. So we actually hope that more will be done to actually look into the transport sector and to make life more, bearable for Nigerians. Because imagine paying over 25% more than what you are paying presently by August. So you know that this is really going to be a sad one. We're already crying the scarcity of fuel, not to talk about we don't even have constant electricity in our various homes. And 1 or 2 things that at home looking very depressed and sad, and we are having another hike in transportation. That means even for you, you will not be able to afford to buy your food, because definitely those who are transporting this food product from the farm down to the market will definitely increase the prices of goods. Imagine pepper then when you buy a bucket, this small bucket paint for 500 naira, it's now 2,000 naira. Automatically it will soon be 3,000 or above. So you can see that, just like you rightly mentioned, back was then during the rainy season, you could see accessible, but reverse is the case. Vegetable now, the common spinach that you normally get even for 15 naira to prepare a pot of soup, right now you need to get over 200 naira vegetable to do that. So you can see that everything right now is on the hike. So we hope something will be done to look into this increase of transportation. And Labour Congress 2 weeks ultimatum to end the ASU strike to hold Abuja mega protest today. Buhari asks Senate to confirm Ariwoola as the substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. Worsen insecurity, sooner or later Buhari can be kidnapped. This is coming from Buba Galadima. That side of the paper is still a countdown to the Kaduna train terror attack victims, and they have spent 121 days in captivity. And that's all on the Voice of Liberty.
Daily Sun newspaper, London court grants Ikweremadu's wife bail. Husband remains in custody. The big story on ASU strike, Labour grounds Nigeria threaten to stop elections. Give federal government 2 weeks ultimatum to resolve crisis. Mass protest rocks states, another one planned for FCT. Senate may confirm acting CJN Ariola today. Buhari seeks nod on 4 reappointed nominees as director of CBN board. Obasanjo tax NPC on accurate and credible 2023 census. And we know the last census was conducted in the year 2016. And we look out for accurate census to know the number of Nigerians and even know the mortality rate, the rate, and also the mortality rate, and even know the number of Nigerians before the general election, so that we can be accurate even in counting the numbers and knowing people who came out in number to vote on the election. Reps amend CBN Act to stop governors from partisan politics. Deny plot to impeach Gbajabiamila. Details can be found in page 27 and 29 of the Daily Sun newspaper. On insecurity, 44 reports given before Kuje prison attack. This is coming from the reps. Abort motion against ban on motorcycles. Bandits kidnap many Kaduna residents, and how terrorists killed 2 guard brigade officers and 8 soldiers in Abuja. Okay. Army chief explains scaling down of peace support. We have Musa from Taraba. Good morning, Musa.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Yunusa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning, mother. I am here to comment concerning that I hear that day before yesterday where I am watching this here, but I couldn't call back. I hear where they packed some people where they attacked is in Kaduna Road to Lagos. I don't understand that. So where I see what their leaders stand among them, telling people that my God grace they will support our president with air red-handed. So I've been wondering, this thing that they are saying, our president is watching this thing, so he's not watching it. They're supposed to do something because these people they are strong now. Look at the way they are saying the words. For any president of Nigeria, they say if I go great, surely caught him red-handed. I'm afraid. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yunusa. If I can hear him right, he spoke about the threat this terrorist group made on saying that they're going to attack Mr. President and even the governor of Kaduna State. And he's asking if Mr. President is listening to what those people are saying. And I would say he know what they are saying. He has listened to what they are saying, and they are making active measures on ways they can curb this issue of insecurity. We saw where the guard brigade was attacked, soldiers were killed, some are missing up to date, and we know that there are proactive measures, and even the ways they're saying they are going to attack Kaduna and even Abuja and even different states. So we see that security measures are being taken on ways we need to be proactive. And even as individual, you need to be security conscious. If you see strange faces around your community, make an alarm for people and even report to the nearest security agencies for them to take actions of the security in your community. Still on the Daily Sun newspaper, we have tension as police defuse bomb in Kogi government office. We have the Labour Congress protest for adequately funded functional public education. Hello, Mr. Fidelis. Good morning.
Hello, Madam Tosin Holabi and Sele. Please, the Nigerian Army has become a Boy Scout. It is time for the Army to take over from this satanic autocratic government of Jackman that call himself the president of this country. If the military is still alive and vibrant, let them take over this country before something worse than this will come up. That is my contribution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fidelis. And Sele, I'd like you to move over to the next paper.
Yes, I know if Mr. Fideli was angry, he mentioned satanic. So please, to our callers, let's be very mindful of our language we're referring to our plight. Well, let's move on now to the Nation newspaper. Buhari seek confirmation for the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria and 19 regs. You can read detail of that on page 5. And on the train attack victim, 100 million naira paid for my freedom. And this is coming, I believe, from one of the free people. Also, okay.
Sorry, Sele, we have Mr. Promise from Enugu. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, we are with you. Please go on.
Hello, are you with me?
Yes, please go on.
Okay. From your music, you can see bandits threatening to adopt a president from Juba Haladima. Most of this information, I don't know if we really have the politics in this country. We have 40-something reports from DSS before the attack, and there is nothing being done. I'm sensing far play from this current government. I'm honest with you, I'm sensing far play. If there is no far play, after getting all these reports and you fold your hands, you are telling us something. It's either you are working with these people doing this, or you are supporting them, or you are doing something that every one of us should be careful of. I don't really know how we can cope up with this country. Look at us striking 5 months plus. Government is very free, everybody is campaigning, buying hundreds of millions of what is it called, forms for it. And they keep quiet. Everybody is enjoying. Nobody is talking. The only few people that are affected, that their children that are crying, everybody just keep quiet. If NLC had woken up before now, this thing would have stopped. NLC, I'm even forcing them because NLC somehow, it's not the NLC we used to go back then. That after 1 month or thereabouts, people coming out to cry. I'm just worried about some of this things happening in this country, but we'll keep on praying for Nigeria. We need to change. And if we didn't change, if the kidnappers, the bandits can kidnap the president, I think that would be the best. For me, that's the best. If we kidnap Buhari now, you see this thing will stop by one day. I'm just worried and I'm angry this morning. Thank you very much. Let me stop here for that people to continue.
Thank you very much. I know the issue is disheartening, but we need to keep on praying and be positive about the whole issue. It will all end well and we'll all come out rejoicing. So I'd like you to continue.
Yes, still on the Nation newspaper, excess crew account down by $35 million to $376,655. And on insecurity, food prices could double, farmers warn. We can read detail of that on page 28 of the Nation newspaper. Okon is Khan's president. Still on the Nation, 4 die in Lagos Ibadan road accident with detail on page 5. 2 officers, 6 soldiers killed in attack on presidential guards, and bodies of captain, lieutenant and others found. Bello mourns with the families and residents because the 2 lieutenants are actually from Kogi State. So he has sent his condolences to the families and also has called on the government to double up, especially the security agency, to be able to check who are those that are behind this and will actually be brought to book at the end of the day. Still on the Nation newspaper, varsity strike, act fast to avert unrest, Labour tells the federal government. And also this is the solidarity rallies in state, Labour Congress rule condemn. You can actually see more of that on page 4 and also page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Downside of the paper, reps move to bar CBN governor and deputy from politics, and APC leaders mourn Nelson. You can read detail of that on page 87 and page 6, and we can see picture stories here of the protests in various parts of the state yesterday. And that's all on the Nation newspaper.
On Al Jazeera midweek, Buhari writes Senate to confirm Ariola as the CJN. 19 nominees for confirmation as INEC commissioners. UK court grants Ekweremadu's wife bail. On 2023, Governor Wike not acceptable. This is from Rivers APC. And Northern Caucus denies impeachment move against Bajabiamila. On ASU strike, which is making round on all the papers, we have NLC gives federal government 2 weeks ultimatum, threatens indefinite strike as nationwide protest continues today. NSAS will be child's play if really need to take heed before it escalates and gets out of hand. Be patient, government doing its best, Governor Badaru tells the Labour Congress. Bakers increase bread price by 20% and 400 billion naira annual tax income possible. This is coming from FCT IRS. On presidency, Obi pledges 15,000 megawatts in 4 years. Details can be found in page 22. And a picture story here, we can see members of the Women in Politics Forum and chiefs of the Obong of Calabar Palace during a visit by members of the forum to the palace in Calabar. That's all on the Al Jazeera midweek, and that's how far we can go on this program this morning. We appreciate all our callers for calling, and I appreciate those behind the crew for making this a success. And also thank you, Sele, for doing this with me.
Pleasure.
Do not sell your vote. Do not sell your conscience. Vote wisely. Have a blessed day.